The company I started with offered great training, great mentorship, and great leadership. All of that combined allowed me to become very successful within my first year and really get off the ground running. When you start off in the beginning, you're going to have to attend required training. And no, you're not compensated for the training, right? Remember, this is a commission-based business, but it really is to your detriment if you don't take the time to attend the training. Because if you don't, you'll never know the products, you'll never know the tips and tricks, you'll never learn the ins and outs of how to be successful in this business. Some of the hurdles I overcame was getting people to view me as a financial services representative, not as a person I was in my previous career, right? And to also explain to people that I had been through extensive training, licensing, classes, education programs to get me to where I was. It's not like I just walked off the street and walked into a financial firm and they hired me, right? I did have to jump through hoops to get into this industry, and that is just part of what it takes to be in this business. Is you have to study and work hard. You have to be licensed, okay? As I said before, this is a heavily regulated industry. So be prepared to go through licensing and credentialing checks to become a financial services rep and someone who's open-minded to continuing their education and learning. Continuing education is huge in this business. Another hurdle I overcame was the emotional hardship that my friends and family weren't lining up at the door to become my first clients, right? And part of that is because they know me so well as a friend or a family member, and they know me in my previous professional position, in my previous career. So one thing to keep in mind is don't get your feelings hurt when your friends and family don't come running to become your clients. As a matter of fact, they're probably going to be the people that come last to be your clients, or that you're going to take time having to finesse and approach before they put their business with you. So in the beginning, I did keep some side hustles. I kept some side jobs. I babysat, I walked dogs. Whatever I could do to make some extra cash is what I did, especially in the beginning when you're not eligible for the residuals that come from your existing book of business. You may have a slow month. So I did have to supplement my income with a side job, and there's nothing wrong with that. Totally fine. A lot of people do it. Just make sure that whatever side job you're doing is approved by the company you're working with. Keep in mind, you are representing them, and they want to make sure that whatever other side job you're doing does not affect their brand. Work super hard. Work weekends, work nights. And that is a huge piece of advice that I can give, and what I've seen and what I've done myself is, why do you want to have your nights and weekends open? Is because that is when people are most free to meet with you, right? So if you think about it, just because you make your own schedule doesn't mean that the other person that you're trying to prospect or become your client can make their own schedule as well. They're probably at their 9 to 5 job working, right? Or they're busy taking care of their kids. So don't assume that you pick up the phone at 12 o'clock noon and they're also on a lunch break, right? You need to make yourself flexible and available to people during the times that work for them. And largely that's nights and weekends. So be prepared to get all of your work done during the day, whether that's your administrative tasks, prospecting, composing emails, completing any training or continuing education, but also be prepared to work beyond 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night. That's the times that prospects are available. Weekends as well. Don't just expect that Saturday rolls around and you're sleeping in, right? The most successful reps are meeting with people on weekends, and that's because most people don't work on weekends. So in order to have long-term success, you have to make yourself available to other people's schedules. That's plain and simple. Another thing that reps do over the long term to be successful is they continue their education by earning all of the credentials and licensing that they can get. The more licenses you have, the more products you can sell. And as I stated earlier, with a large product portfolio, Same goes for a large credential portfolio, right? So the more credentials and licenses you have, the more products and services you can offer. In turn, the more money you can make. Successful reps are part of a lot of networking groups and associations. In the beginning, I was a part of so many networking groups, so many associations. I was a vendor for an association where I would set up my table with my goodies and my cards and giveaways. Things like that make people very successful. You can develop a target market, and that's going to come down the line with more experience and a larger book of business. So you can tailor your membership to associations based on your target market. So we have a woman in our office who's very successful because she provides group benefits to in-home health aides and nursing homes, and that's her target market. So she is part of all of the networking groups and associations and is a vendor for large home health aid agencies. So success means working hard nights and weekends, getting in front of people by being a member of networking organizations, being a vendor at trade shows, and joining other professional organizations, working hard to get additional credentials and licensing. Those are pretty much the top 3 things.